and the Dean, Dr. Adeyinka, the Head of Department, Dr. Gayoba, Professor Amole, and all other professors and lecturers of the Department of Architecture of Obafemi Awolowo University, my colleagues, architect colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, and the students. I'm going to be very, very brief. It's a fairly long speech, but I will, as much as possible, try to cut where I can. But we must not forget that the essence of this day should not be jumped. My own experience, I'll just give you one little joke before I start. There was one mathematics professor in those days, called Professor Abiodun. I don't know whether he's still alive. He was the head of the Department of Mathematics. And he used to tell us that there is a theorem, x squared is equal to 2x plus so and so. Hence or otherwise, prove that whatever is whatever. That is the question. He said, well, you see, they say hence or otherwise. But hence is what I taught you in classroom. If you decide to go and use otherwise, you're on your own. It's either you are a genius, you get 100, or you get 0. So most of us ended up using hence. The profession of architecture is an aphrodisiac. It thrills the senses. It stimulates the nervous system. It has the capacity to get you drunk on the adrenaline rush, set in motion by exciting and unending possibilities. Great nations in history define the power of their epochs by the sheer splendor of the architecture of their cities. From ancient Egypt through Greece to the Great Roman Empire, the Byzantine Empire, Babylon, Persia, Imperial China, and Japan, Aztec Mexico, and the British Empire, each of these great states are remembered by the shapes, forms, and special functionality of the great monuments and edifices each civilization produced. The pyramids of Cheops at Giza in Egypt, the Colossus of Rhodes in Greece, the Colosseum in Rome, Big Ben of London in England, are skylines easily recognizable the world over. Architecture, too, has been the subject of deep love and causes of great wars. The stupendous Taj Mahal Mausoleum in India was built as a poetic tribute of the love one man, an emperor, had for his deceased wife. The economic power of the dominance of world finance by the United States of America, USA, was attacked by Islamic fundamentalists on September 11, 2001, when airplanes were converted into potent missiles to bring down the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, which is a symbolic representation of American economic power. In reprisal, the United States launched a massive war against Afghanistan to destroy the Taliban and the Al-Qaeda power base there, and against Saddam Hussein's Iraq to remove him from power. The reverberations of these wars are still being felt today in the Middle East and around the world. History is replete with countless other examples of the profound effect architecture has on man and his affairs. However, architecture fares best in a booming economy because of the capital-intensive nature of construction, or better still, in an economy willing to profitably invest its current surplus to guarantee financial security for its tomorrow. The Arabian Gulf countries of Qatar, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates are classical examples of booming economies investing wisely. Interestingly, these are the places where the world's most adventurous, most daring, and most exciting architectures are being practiced and built. When the first-class team of technocrats led by the inimitable Obafemi Awolowo built the foundations of the Western region between 1951 and 1965, this too was what they had in mind. That era has remained frozen in our minds as the golden age of Western Nigeria. It too was defined by many architectural processes. The Western House in Lagos, Airport Hotel in Ikeja, Cocoa Industries in Ikeja, the Cocoa House in Ibadan, the Liberty Stadium in Ibadan, and the jewel of the crown, Africa's most beautiful university campus, the University of Ife, which today has been replaced by Babalawo University after its legendary founder. Babalawo University represents a very big legacy. A big inheritance worthy of being preserved with pride by the beneficiaries in the way we continue to handle the composition of the aesthetic, the functionality of its interior spaces, and the serenity and quality of its open ambient. Of recent, there's a serious cause for concern at the quality of improvement succeeding administrations has added. Quality of civil architecture, insensitively located and badly constructed, I shudder. The first example is the disastrous 1,000-seater Lego theater beside us here. At the center of the university is the old central cafeteria building, situated close to the original core of the university around the science building. This iconic building is a European interpretation and adaptation of an universal Chinese pavilion designed to fit into an African setting, and it has proved to be wonderfully successful with its perfect illumination, deep sun shading in the hands, very rich protection, freedom and flexibility of space to see, deep ceiling, compact diffusion, etc. When the federal government in the 1980s decided to regulate and commercialize the feeding of students, the original intention behind the design was rendered redundant, and the Department of Architecture inherited it as Departmental building. I was excited and thrilled at the endless possibilities and streams of creativity that could be unleashed in the adaptation. Alas, yet again, I shudder at the result of over 20 years of management of an iconic architectural argument by an architectural department which expects to continue to produce architects from architectural students tutored in the kind of environment that can at best be described as below mediocrity. And this is our collective share. Nature only and always looks after its kind. Sheep begets sheep, lion begets lion. A lamb can never grasp the tiger. Only the seedlings of an iroko tree can produce another iroko tree. In nature, the law is that simple. As I stated earlier, architecture fares best in a booming economy. Without the requisite funding, creativity and the best ideas will just aspirate and die cathartic deaths, gathering dust on archival shelves. This is one of the main reasons, therefore, why the Ife Architecture Alumni Association, the umbrella body of architects who had acquired part of all of their training at the Department of Architecture Ife, decided to intervene in the fortunes of the department and by extension in the improvement of the quality of the environment where future architects are based. This should set creativity loose at a different dimension and redefine the paradigm shift. We should not fail to do this. Simultaneously, we have to explore the opportunities presented by this unique setting, unique gathering to deliberate on folk 8 million, architectural science laboratory 12 million, X million, lights and other electrical works 2.5 million, other fittings and fixtures, doors and lockers 2,350,000 naira. Totally something in the range of 57 million. There are offices that offers chairs and endowments to sponsor. This includes best graduate student in architecture for every year, best graduate student female, best graduate student male, best graduate student architectural science, 75,000. Amount of I hope they distributed the speech. Yes, so you can follow me as I'm talking. Best graduate student architectural science, 75,000 naira. Best graduate student architectural design, 75,000 naira. Then, of course, some other ones that are not priced. Research in architectural science and any other field of your own choice, they are sponsored. I implore you to reach deeply into your pockets to donate generously and selflessly for a worthy cause to make the Department of Architecture of Africa's most beautiful university the finest architecture department in the whole of Africa and beyond. Thank you so much for your time.